Hello, this is Sal from the Khan Academy, and this is just going to be a simple video on how I make videos. So first, just the equipment setup. I have a Wacom tablet right over here. I think this is the Intuos 4 tablet. I think this was like $200 or $300. You can get a basic bamboo tablet for like $80, and it does the same thing. As you pay more money, you just get more writing surface area right over here. It functions as a mouse. This is my mouse, but more importantly, you get a pen with it, which comes with the tablet, and you can use that to actually write. I just have a completely standard, actually this is probably below standard PC right over here. This is like the state-of-the-art PC in 2008. And this art program that I have right over here, this is Smooth Draw 3. This is freeware. You can use any art program you want to. I like to use Smooth Draw because it's lightweight. I don't have the most powerful computer in the world, so it keeps the computer from freezing up and all of that. Some of the fancier art programs have all of this fancy stuff they do in the background. Smooth Draw 3 is kind of bare bones, but at least you want it to be ideally bare bones, or maybe you just want a much more powerful computer, but the minimum that you want is the ability for it to be pressure sensitive. So if we, on Smooth Draw 3 here, you see while I'm writing, I can write really lightly, or I could write really dark. And so you can, it looks a little bit more artistic. Actually, if I take the felt tip pen right over here, I use this little paintbrush thing. You could use whatever you want. And I put it at brush size 6. I set up some pastel colors right over here. And you can see you could write really lightly or you could write really dark. You can shade things in. And the reason why I think it's important for something to be pressure sensitive is when you write with it. So this is test writing right over here. It doesn't look like just computer writing. It looks, or at least looks pretty close to like actual, like it looks like a digital felt tip pen of some kind. So all I've done so far is I have this little pen tablet and I'm able to draw on this. So this isn't too different than what most kind of designers or artists would do in order to do some type of graphic design, but I haven't shown you how to actually make a video. The actual video production is happening with screen capture software. I use Camtasia Recorder. It comes with Camtasia Studio. I think it costs $200 or $300 for that. I believe there's other screen capture software, including some free ones. They all have different positives and negatives. You can test them out with Camtasia. So I'll just start Camtasia Recorder here. And so you see it's going to capture everything it sees in this portion of the screen. I set it up at a 1280 by 720 dimensions. And so when I make the video, it's just going to capture this part here, and that's why when you see a Khan Academy video, you don't see all this other stuff right over here. And so if I press record, it's going to start capturing everything that happens on the screen here, and it's going to capture my voice as captured by this microphone. Now the first like 1,000 Khan Academy videos I did, I used literally like a $20 Logitech USB microphone, and actually the sound was pretty decent. We've now upgraded. I think this is a Samson microphone right here. It's about $200. What I found is that there's not a general, I've tried some $30 microphones that work out just great, and some $200 microphones or even $300 microphones that didn't work out so well. They had a little buzzing noise or whatever. This one seems to work well for me. Both the Wacom tablet and the Samsung microphone, they're just both USB devices. You just plug them in. And so what you'll see is when I start recording this video, so I'm going to press record right here, right over here on Camtasia, and I'm just going to start making a video, and you'll see that it captures everything and it records all the videos. So let me just show you a test video. Let me clear this first. So let's say, let me adjust the volume a little bit. I press record. It'll give me a little bit of a countdown. I like to test my pen off the screen right here. That's not in the recording region. And so now it's actually recording everything that I'm saying as part of this video. So this is a video. This is a video. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. And I can change colors. I can underline the 3 in orange. I can underline the 5 in, well, that's orange again. Let's see, in purple. Whatever I want, I'm just changing. I tend to like these kind of pastel colors. They have the feel of a pastel chalk on top of a chalkboard. And you'll see when I'm done recording this video, the video got produced. And I can actually play the video.
My pen off the screen right here. That's not in the recording room.
So that's not me talking. That's the video talking.
Recording everything that I'm saying is part of this video. So this is a video. This is a video. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, and I can change colors. I can underline the 3 in orange.
And once if you're happy with it, you can literally just click save, It'll offer you to edit it in Camtasia Studio and all of that, but I just save it as an AVI file. And then once it's saved as an AVI file, you can actually upload those directly to YouTube if you want, or you can later process it and edit it if you want to. I tend to not process or edit the videos unless if I made some error and I can fix that fairly easily. And yeah, so you just save it and you upload it. That's the technical part of making a video, and hopefully that's not too difficult. If you already have a PC, we're literally talking about a couple $100s of equipment and software. And actually, you could probably get the software for free, shareware software, whatever else. Now about the subjective parts about making a video. For me personally, and it might vary from everyone who does videos, I'm a big believer, and we've gotten some feedback from our user base to this effect. They like the conversational nature of the video. The videos are literally exactly the way I'm talking right now. And so for me, the way that I prepare the videos is I read up a lot. If I'm doing something, if I'm doing an algebra worked example, then that doesn't require a lot of preparation. I can kind of work through the problem in real time. But if I'm doing, say, a history video, I'll read a bunch of stuff. I'll look for a bunch of public domain documents and maps and pictures on the web. And what's neat about these art programs is you can copy and paste. You can copy and paste things onto this. And let me show you. Let's say I'm doing so let me bring out a web browser. As you can see, this computer is not state of the art. But let's say let's say I wanted a map of Europe. I actually am doing I am doing videos on World War I right now. And so I'll do a search for Europe 1914. And then I'll also search on the word public domain, just so I make sure I get a map that I can use. So I do a search for that, and then I do a search on images, and most of these are, it's in Wikimedia Commons. This is Europe at the beginning of World War I. I can go to that page, and I can verify. I can look at the licensing, and I can verify right over here that this is this is a public domain map. So I can literally take this map, I can copy the image, I can paste it right over here. So I can paste it right over here onto my art program. So let me change to the pen. Onto my art program. And now if I want to talk about World War I can start recording. I can get my screen thing up, screen capture, and I can mark up this map. I can say, look, Germany had to fight two fronts in World War I. It had the Western Front right over here. It had the Eastern Front right over here, which was huge. And because the Eastern Front was huge, you couldn't do trench warfare, so it was a much more fluid front. And you can see you can start taking things off of the web that you have the rights to or that have no licensing terms associated with them, and also mark them up. So once you get the technical stuff down, my advice is try to do as much preparation, so as much reading as possible, distill the thoughts in your own brain. If it helps you, take notes, write your notes out multiple times, and then try to make a video. When you make the video, I've often erred on the side of doing these long videos. I don't think that's a good idea. The shorter the videos are better. I think the optimal is about 3 or 4 minutes. It'll minimize your chances of making a mistake. It'll allow you to be a little more natural because you won't be stressed about all the things that you actually have to talk about. And focus on the underlying intuition on things. I think that's what people really crave. They don't want to just get some superficial formulas or superficial facts. They want to get deep meaning. They want to understand it as your brain understands it. That's why I'm not a big fan of the scripted videos. Oftentimes, you can tell when someone's reading versus when they're thinking, and so I think people will appreciate if they see, wow, you're thinking through this. You're actually reasoning through why you couldn't have trench warfare on the Eastern Front, or why completing the square actually gets you the quadratic formula. I think the tone, everyone has different styles and tones, but as natural as possible, let yourself be as free as possible. I actually force myself to smile often before the videos. It actually will change your mood, and maybe I should laugh at the videos if you can, whatever you can. And the one thing I've also found is it's very easy to freeze up, to press record. And what I often do is I delude myself. I convince myself, okay, Sal, don't worry about the next video, just do a practice run. And when you do a practice run, it actually makes you a lot less stressed. And you just do the video, and then when you're done with it, at like 7 or 8 minutes later, you're like, hey, that wasn't so bad. And you're probably going to be more critical of yourself than you need to be. We all are. Upload it or show it to some friends, and I think they're going to find that all those things that you thought, when you said that one time, I mean, you should try to not say if you can, But when you stuttered at one time, or you made that, you went back and fixed that one mistake, you'll find that people don't mind it as much as you thought, and sometimes they actually thought it was positive. It was a positive thing for the video. So with that, let you go. I look forward to seeing the type of videos that y'all produce.